guys, and welcome back. This is ChosenArchitect. Today we are going to be diving into Blood Magic Abyssal Craft, and man, there's an epic build to come. So I hope you guys are ready. Today we're going to move even further into this pack, and as you can see, some destruction did take place, but the only thing that broke was some of the fence and stuff. These statues are still here. As you can see, the ground kind of exploded over here. I did get this charged all the way up, and I did take it out. It does look like the Shogoth had spawned, but because it's on a floating pad, it saved our base, because that could have been awful. But these are new horses. It did kill them, because within this range, from here all the way over to here and to here, a lightning bolt struck and forced Corallium Plague on anything that was in the general vicinity of this area. And unfortunately, it killed my two horses, but it didn't kill my main stallion. So we're actually good on this front. So I'm gonna need some more room to sort of continue our journey through these mods. And the next mod that I want to get into is Blood Magic. And I also want to continue working on this. We're going to need another area similar to this, but I don't want it to be floating like this. This is only temporary. I do want my island to look a little bit nicer, and we have so much room here. Even though it does seem like there's not much here, I do want to take advantage of the space we do have, which is mostly underground here. So I'm planning on building out some bridges and seeing what these bridges can do. Like how much room can we get? We have all of this space to wrap around here and expand off the sides. And because it's shaped like it is, I think we can have hanging supports that sort of look like it's just being supported by the upper parts of this. I think this is going to look fantastic. So you know what that means. Let's get to building. Now that we got that out of the way, we got our building, everything looking good. I'm trying to expand a couple of island-like type things off to the side to give ourselves a little bit of working area. I want to put a farm over here that's a little bit bigger than the farm we're currently working with. I also need to remember to torch things up. Now, torches, I mean, I just made some more charcoal and I'm just converting the old torches I had, especially since I cleared out that island over there. I had a lot of twine, a whole bunch of twine. So I'm using that to generate my torches for right now. I'm sure I'm going to need a better way to do that. Hopefully we'll unlock a better way soon though. But as of right now, I'm just kind of taking my time. And we're pushing forward. I definitely want to turn this into a crop farm. I am trying to see, and on the edges, I don't care if this farm is not big enough. I'm thinking about, you know, let's see, 1, 2, 3, maybe having this spot right here is where the center would be, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, and then leaving the edges on the outside for other things. We could do things like decorate. Of course, I want this to probably be just a little bit larger than the actual space that a crop is going to reside in, because we need to put things like fence up and things like that just to make it so we don't fall off by accident. And that's how I'm going to set this up. That looks really good. I think that's going to work. Now, I'm also going to place the totems. This, the wood is going to be here also to function. I need probably totems to go here. And so I'm thinking creeper definitely on the base, creeper prevention, or we might totem up higher. I don't know if, let's say we have, let's try this out. I'm going to try it on this, this one down here. Can we do something like, let's see, what makes this go fast? Horse? So if we make a multiple tiered horse, does that give us, oh, it does. It gives us speed too. So I'm guessing 2, this one, I don't think it gives us 2 from the top. The only way to actually test that would be to put another speed down here, because I know that it's going to kind of wear off by this point. We're probably going to want another speed. So I'll make this the totem base, and we'll set this one again to horse. This time I'm going 2 tall. Does that give me, that gives me regular speed. So it needs to be at least 3 tall to give you speed 2. Look at that. That's pretty good. So that means we could probably add creeper here and there, and that will make it even better. So we just throw some creeper. So we have spider, ocelot. So we'll definitely give an ocelot up here. So 1, 2, 3, and then that would definitely be an ocelot up there. Everything else will probably be horse, because I would prefer to have speed over everything else. So base, and then, or actually, yeah, I'll do base here. And then the spaces that are in between, like right here, I don't need them to be horse. This one I will, but this one right here can be other things that we might find useful. So something you definitely want to do that I've noticed I've been trying to do it, is diversify your food. You have fruit, grains, proteins, and vegetables, and you can search all of these inside here. So grain, you can search grain, and as you can see, it will show up. I think you can search it more, or a little bit better by making sure to put the number symbol or hash symbol in front of this, or pound symbol, whatever you want to call it. It's got many names. And this will search the actual data that's inside the metadata itself, I do believe, or the tags. As you can see, it says grain in this. So that is what this will help you search for. And this is probably the easiest grain to get early on. It's just wheat. You just grind some wheat in your grindstone using your horse, and then you just throw it in the smeltery. I also went ahead and got some ash made up. The ash is going to be really important. We're going to get into some blood magic here in a little bit, and we're definitely going to be needing this to kind of further ourselves. So remember that mob farm we set up? Well, this is where it's going to be super, super handy. Let's grab this rudimentary snare. We should be able to grab a couple of them. And this is going to be what we use to get some demonic wills, which are going to inevitably be used to craft the blood altar. And this will be us moving forward into blood magic. So we're going to head to our mob farm and put these snares to the test. So these snares, as soon as we get some kind of mob to spawn, which shouldn't take us very long, especially during the day. I haven't blocked off any of these other islands, so mobs can spawn on them at night. But during the day, we should be okay. So what you want to do now that you have a snare is you want to find a mob like this one here. And you want to hit it with these snares until you see some particles coming off of it. And man, my luck. Oh, there we go. So you see the particle swirly effects? They're hard to see, but if you don't have shaders on, they'll be a little easier to see. You want to kill this while it has those particles going, and that will grant you a demonic will of a specific quality, or a random quality, not specific, a very random. It's like complete opposite. But this is what you're wanting, and we're going to need more than one of them. So hopefully I have enough snares because I eventually want to be able to make this. Later on, we're going to have a lot better way of doing this, but as of right now, the big grind is going to be for the rudimentary snares. Now, we only need one to open the blood altar, and other than that, I think we're going to need another one for the for furthering ourselves. Yeah, we're going to need another one to eventually make the beneath teleporter, which is what we're going for, in case you didn't know. All of this is going to eventually come to a meet in our quests. So they're all going to eventually meet up. As you can see right here, we have the blood altar and everything, but that is going to eventually lead right here to the beneath portal, which then furthers our exploration. And then eventually we get into Link to the Stars, and you can see we have astral sorcery to deal with. And voila, we have a blood altar. It's so nice that I have this, because honestly, blood magic, I have some deep roots with that mod. Man, I remember the days of uploading it's like blood magic tutorial type stuff, and then just completely getting demonetized because of the title. Well, I'm glad those days are over. Well, knock on wood. Let's go ahead and make ourselves a sacrificial dagger. All I'm needing is a little bit of bronze, and we have ourselves a sacrificial dagger. What is this thing used for? Well, from the description, just a prick of the finger will suffice. Yes, it is something that we're going to use to technically hurt ourselves. Just a teensy little bit. And, well, where do I want to do this? I have an area that I want to set up specifically for this, and utilizing a very specific totem as well, because there's a totem that can actually help us through blood magic, or at least I think it will help us through blood magic. So I actually want to set this up down in our little area. Oh, that just wraps around. And this actually looks incredible from the outside. And I'm not even close to being done. Once we can place water, things are going to get a lot more interesting. Because what I have planned is just like I have this waterfall going through this little crop area that I plan on setting up. Over here, we're going to have some other crop areas as well that are hopefully going to be set up. And instead of just, using your regular water and placing it here, I'm going to have it flowing from the top of the island, making it look like it's coming out of a hole and flowing down into the void. This is an idea that I'm kind of running through my head, and I hope that it'll work. I think it will. It should look really good as well. If you haven't already noticed, I have upgraded to some bronze tools. This is just an upgrade that needed to happen. Instead of, I needed even the slightest of mining speed help would be necessary. It's just, I'm getting tired of just using a stone pick. It is getting pretty obnoxious at this point, just it taking so long. And even this pick isn't the fastest in the world, but it is just ever so slightly faster than what I was using. So I'm digging myself out a little hole. This is going to get us started with basic blood magic. And I only need just a little spot for it. And then right here, I'm going to take all of the cobblestone I just mined up. We're going to convert that cobblestone into something that's a buildable material. And then we're going to go from here. Now, you can see there's a little lighting issue right here. That's just part of the shader. I think it starts to happen once you get past a certain point. And there's like weird gaps in the light. I don't know. It's something that I might mess around with, seeing if older versions of this particular shader would fix this issue, but it being a skyblock, I don't know. It might just be an issue just with skyblocks themselves. So since I'm getting into the blood magic and I'm going to be hurting myself, my character is going to take damage, there's a way I can hopefully help with that. Now, we can't give ourselves regeneration, but with the totemic mod, we might be able to utilize, and I just use red cedar right now because I ran out of oak, but we might be able to utilize a particular type of totem in order to, I don't know, give ourselves more health. That could be useful. So from what I read, totems can be 6 tall. Now, I don't know if that's from the base or the poles themselves. I think we can just try by making the base as low as possible. So we hop down in here and put the totem base in, which I'll make this the totem base. And then we're just going to go up from there. And we're going to use the cow. Now, this is going to give us slowness, but it should also give us resistance as well. And I think resistance might help when dealing with blood magic. If not, we'll remove it because it also gives us slowness, as you can see, which is kind of being counteracted by the fact that we do have the speed effect as well. But let's go ahead and try this. Let's place the blood altar in, just like this. And then what we're going to do is use this sacrificial dagger, not in it, but next to it. And as you can see, it starts to take our life. Now, this is going to be a great time to diversify your food. You're definitely going to want to do that. You're going to see all your different aspects. So fruit, grain, vegetables, all those, this will be a great time to do that. By the way, and apples are probably going to be the best fruit that you can get right now. It's the easiest to obtain. You just make some fruit seeds right here, or fruit sprouts, place them on a tree, and then they'll grow pretty fast if you have a beehive nearby. So I wouldn't worry too much about that, but the beehive being nearby, you should be just fine. So for starters and knowing what we need to get, as you can see, we probably need a tier 1 to get started, which is this right here. This is a tier 1. But as you can see, to make the apprentice blood orb, we need a tier 2. Now, a tier 2 is not really hard to get. You just need some time, and we're going to need some stone, and we're going to need to make some plates. And we just need enough to make 8 that go around this, and it's going to get you a tier 1 altar. So let's talk about slates. Because blood altar, or the blood magic here, or runes, sorry, not slates. I believe these are called slates. Yeah, slates. We're going to turn stone into slates, and then we need to make these blank runes. Blank runes are going to be used in order to upgrade our altar. Right here we have the weak blood orb. This right here is what we're going to need to get started, though. We need 2,000 LP, or life points, or blood, depending on whatever you want to call it. Some coagulated blood, which this is easier to get than you might think. You just need a little bit of blood in your smeltery, and you should be good. This is a regular smeltery, though. I don't know if there's going to be... I mean, we should have access to a smeltery, like a real smeltery now. That's another thing. I didn't even think about that. Can we make seared bricks now? We totally can. So, that's what we have to do. We have our blood magic set up, but now we got to make a... Yeah, we got to make ourselves something else. Because I don't think we don't have diamonds yet. There's nothing. So, Tinker's Contract smeltery time it is. So I was going about this the whole wrong way. Like I already had grout made up. I'm already doing that, which was great. We're going to need that later on. But we can actually simplify our life a little bit by just using some rotten flesh. And as you can see, rotten flesh can be used to make blood. Now, it only makes 40 millibuckets. So if we think about this, this is going to take 160 millibuckets. So I think we need what? That's going to be 4 rotten flesh per coagulated blood. That shouldn't be too hard to do. So we're just need to make sure that we know our amount, and we deviate as such, so that way we get 4 apiece. There we go. So, knowing this, I know that this will equate to the right amount. That will get me coagulated blood. And as you can see, we could use it to make other things, like, I don't know, slime boots? I don't know how useful those would be, but I definitely want to get myself some slime. That way we have it for the future. So for this, I am going to need to swap out these 2 things. I told you eventually we were going to be using this. So there we go. And now I'm going to need to, let's see, just click our porcelain. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Yep, and as you can see, there we are. We have ourselves some coagulated blood. Now, you don't want to eat this thing. It definitely doesn't help. But if you do put this thing on a drying rack, it can give you the effect health boost, which, I mean, all seems like it would work out really well, right? For the thing that we're going to be doing, which is self-sacrificial stuff. So, yeah, that's actually really nice. So here's a quick tip for getting your health back quicker with blood magic. All you're going to need is your mill and your hand crank, and you might as well do 2 things at once. So I'm going to go ahead and while I'm here, it says this millstone has too many blocks around it. Uh-oh. So let's go ahead and remove this and this. That might help. Sometimes it can be finicky. Okay, so it's working now. Yeah, you want to do this while you're around it. You can see that while I do that, because sometimes you'll get stuck after you do this, you'll be stuck and you have good saturation. So if you set here and you let your health go down, it allows you to get your regeneration effect back, because without your saturation going down, you're not going to eat and you're not going to regenerate any health. So the good part about all of this combined together is, so long as you're eating the right types of food, eventually we're going to hit a point where we can actually get some really nice effects for being super nourished. And I think this is great. Now, I'm glad that dairy is not on this list, because dairy is such a pain to get. So yeah, normally you'd have to just sit there and drink milk over and over and over again, or eat some kind of cheese item. It's just, yeah, it's a total mess. But anyways, so what I need to do is just continue to hurt myself until I think that this is full, because right now we have no information on it, right? So at this point, it's getting pretty close. Once you see it kind of hit the top part, or you don't see it going up anymore, you can probably at that point assume that it's full. I would at least assume that it's full. Now, another quick way, just eat one piece of nice, highly saturated food, and that will help regain your health a lot quicker. That is just one simple trick that you can, of course, do. Yeah, we are almost to the point where we can place an item in there. So at this point, I'm pretty sure this is completely full. Now, what I can do is I'm going to have two things, stone and this. First, I'm going to go ahead and work on the coagulated blood. I'm just going to place it in here. And I know that I actually know how much the default blood altar holds, so I'm not worried about it draining all of my blood out. That is not a problem, because if you run out of blood, you'll start to see some black smoke particles show up. And that just means it is completely just taking back. It's almost like going in reverse on the productivity that you had just made going forward. So you're basically going to be backtracking, and it will happen a lot faster backtracking than it does the other way around. So you're definitely going to want to make sure this thing has enough blood. But I know by default, 2,000 millibuckets is not much, considering I think there's 5,000 millibuckets in the default altar. So you can kind of guesstimate from this. Actually, it might be 10,000. I'm trying to remember, but I don't know. But as you can see right here, bam. And it might honestly tell you in your book. I just usually have some little guides that will tell you. Eventually, we'll have an item that will definitely tell us. So we have our weak blood orb. That's awesome. Now we need to link it to ourselves by shift right clicking. And yeah, putting some blood in our soul network. We actually have a life essence network that is stored in these blood orbs, and they do transfer from orb to orb. So yeah, we have a network now, and it's connected to us. Now we can fill this network two ways. We can place it in here and have it fill up with the current blood that's in our altar, or we can just, right click and hurt ourselves. But be careful, because you can easily kill yourself in game by doing it that way. So to move further, like I said, we need to make slates. And slates do use a little bit of blood, as you can see right here. They're going to use 1,000. So if I remember correctly, now I know the base contains right here, it contains 10,000, I do believe. And also if you hover over it, it'll tell you it does 5 LP per tick, or drains at that rate. You can also speed that up later on once you have an upgraded altar. But we need to get the slates first. So to do this, you can place in 10 stone if you have this completely filled, and it will drain out all of them, and it will take the time. It'll take the entire time to do 10. It doesn't do like one, you put 10 in and it does one at a time. It will do all of them at once, which is good, but also bad at the same time. So just for the beginners, you probably want to put one in at a time, just so you can assess how quickly this is going to work. And you'll learn really quick that it takes a lot of time to get these slates. But luckily, you don't need too many to make the starting tier of your blood altar. Just in case you want to know, you're going to need 16 of them. That's how many you're going to need. So now that I have all of my blank slates, we need to combine them to make ourselves some blank runes. So let's go ahead and gather them all together. And yeah, this is going to be a process. We got to do them one by one, at least as of right now. You could go ahead and apply all of this in here. And I don't think I have enough stone, so I will have to make a bit more. No, I will have enough stone. Awesome. And yeah, we only need 8 of these. And as you can see, the weak blood orb, Well, that's not the one we need. We actually need the apprentice blood orb. So to do that, we need a Corallium pearl. And to get Corallium, well, we just need to take the current amount of Corallium that we have, combine that, just like we've done in the past, with that, and surround that with some stone. We get ourselves some Corallium infused stone. I think I'm going to take a piece of coal out of here, just to finish that up. Look at that. We still got all this slime. Look at that. That is nice there. Bunch of slime. So to upgrade our blood altar, all we got to do is surround it with these blank runes. All 8 of them. And this is now a tier 2 blood altar. And we should be able to go ahead and get ourselves the apprentice blood orb. It's only going to require 5,000 LP, which should be about half of this tank. I do have it completely full, so we'll be able to see that once it's done. And there we go. We have ourselves an apprentice blood orb. And this is going to be what we need in order to finish up some other stuff. But there's a lot of stuff with the blood altar in general that we now have access to. And getting into blood magic isn't too bad, because blood magic does offer a lot of cool things that we're going to probably want later on. Just in case you wonder where I'm getting grass, because this is where we're about to set up an altar. Yeah, you can actually make it with just seeds and dirt. It's pretty simple, actually. So for one of the ingredients that I need, which is this right here, the blank teleporter, I am going to need to make blocks of charcoal or blocks of coal. To do that, we're going to need a horse press and pretty much the same setup as everything else, except for this presses blocks. Very simple. All we got to do is put our coal in and we should be ready to go. So here we are. We have ourselves a blank teleporter. And it says, as dark as my soul. Nice. Now, this is going to lead to the Beneath teleporter, which you can see we're going to need to set up a Necronomicon ritual. Not actually too hard. Location, the overworld, requires that much PE, potential energy. And, well, we're going to have to send this to the god. All the rituals are apparently used or sent to the one god, I think is what it's called. So rituals are actually pretty neat. I'm going to use Darkstone. I think you can use Cobblestone and a whole bunch of other stuff, but just place down the Cobblestone, go away 2 blocks in each direction, just like this. And then in the corners, place a block here as well, just like this. Actually, no, I messed one up. This one right here. This needs to go there. Actually, not the teleporter. That. Perfect. Okay, so now that this is set up, all we got to do is shift right click. Woo! Shift right click with the Necronomicon on the center one, and now we have the altar. Now, all we got to do is craft all of this, and then the last piece, when we place it in, I'm pretty sure we right click it, and this should activate. So we need a dark oak fence, some monolith stone, piece of gunpowder, coal dust, and demonic will. And all of that, along with the blank teleporter, is going to give us the Beneath teleporter. Man. So for this ritual, I have just about everything ready to go. All we got to do is place the last thing, which is the blank teleporter. And then shift right click with the Necronomicon on the center and be prepared. Yeah. Stuff is going down. That is for sure. It is going to end with a bang. Yes, a strike of lightning, as you can see. Kind of lit the area on fire. Nothing bad, super bad happened this time, but you got to be careful because sometimes you can be hit with lightning. Well, now we need to figure out a place to put this, because this is the Beneath teleporter, a dimension to, or a portal to a new dimension, a dimension that is scary and is not my favorite dimension. That's for sure. So I think right here would probably be a good place for it as of right now. We can place it. And, well, guys, I think it's time for us to get the Patreon of the Day sign put up. So, of course, today I want to give a huge shout out to Jeremy. Jeremy the Second. And I want to say thank you for going above and beyond with your Patreon support. I do really appreciate it, guys. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. Of course, if you did, be sure to click that subscribe button if you haven't already. And also give this video, guys, a huge thumbs up. I really appreciate it. Of course, I'll see you in the next episode. You guys know how it goes. As always, thanks for watching.